The artist simultaneously reveals and conceals structures, emblems, and figureheads entrenched in the public imaginary to propose alternative forms of memory keeping. This exhibition, Former Present Today, will be up at Blaffer until March 10th. Please welcome Novo.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much, Erica. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for coming, and thank you to every people who made possible this exhibition, and especially to the Blaffer crew, the Blaffer team, for giving me this opportunity. This exhibition is about the weight of the things that we cannot see easily. No. It's about the weight of concepts, or the weight of values, the weight of principles, the weight of ideas. Translate all this specific weight of those ideas that regulate in some way our behavior, our presence in the world, and our activity, no? Social activity. These weights are in this exhibition translate to physical weights, physical materials, like bronze, like concrete, like steel, like stainless steel, or flowers have another kind of weight, another kind of consistency. This exhibition is about that. It's about what we cannot see, but is there, configuring, modeling our lives. Of course, it's about control. Of course, it's about power. It's about tyranny. It's about another specific and ideological concepts. Former Present Today is a title that talk about the history and how the history is built, is made, and how we can relationship that we can have with history. History almost always come in one direction, and we can flow with history and the concepts that came with history in different ways. My idea here is to go to the past, to understand what happened there at some point, and then to bring a reflection to the present, to our current lives. Welcome. This project was, we start to think about this project around 18 months, something like that, or almost 2 years. I present my work to Steven, the director of the museum, or the former director of the museum. And I present my work to him in a very extensive presentation. And he was engaged, he was really in love with the series Revolution is an Abstraction that I exhibit at the Aichi Triennial in 2018 in Japan, at the Toyota Museum. And we start to talk about the show, and this picture with both curators, Erica and Steven. Erica was, at that time, was a year, this picture was a year ago, exactly around a year ago, in January of 2023. We were talking about the show with Paula Kreischel, who is one of the supporters of the show. And I was in her artist residency at that time at PAC, PAC. working, and I invite to Paola to a presentation of the idea of the exhibition to Erica and Steven. And from that time, a year ago, we were working on the show continuously, all the time. We have this is the way that I like to work. We have extensive change of emails, yes, and many other informations. This is the project that I did at the Aichi Triennial 2018, where I have a question. Did you see the show before? Did you see the pieces there, all of you? Yeah. These are the hands of the Yuri Gagarin hands in the real size, in the real scale. We reproduced it, and I did the series of concrete. Steven invited me to make the show with this piece, and I said, Steven, can we talk about a little bit more about what work to exhibit? Because you know the hands in the way that they were exhibited in Japan. But I have another pieces I have from the same series that maybe can play well with the space. And these are the hands at the Toyota Museum. This is Yoko Nose-san, the curator, who invited me to participate, and the artistic director of that triennial. That triennial was very polemic because the censorship of the Korean artists, or the artists who talk about the Korea, the sculpture, the bronze sculpture with the bird, the girl with the bird. And I was one of the artists who react to the censorship, and I cover my pieces. The sculptures, I cover the sculptures with black trash bags, and the concrete with newspapers about the news of the censorship in Japan, in the triennial. I was one of the 11 artists with Tania Bruguera and another, and some more. This is the challenge for me with the show, is how to work in this space. This space is very beautiful, but it's very specific at the same time, no? Because the high ceiling, because the window, because the square is perfect, it's almost perfect square. And I proposed to Steven to produce the sword, the tip of the sword, in the same material and same scale of the original one. Yeah, here is the model. I produced 80% of the show, 70% of the show in Miami, in a shop, in an amazing shop there, who run a very good friend of mine. He worked with different artists. This is the place, the workshop where Manolo Valdez, the Spanish artist, produced almost all the pieces that he produced here in the United States. They have 3 KUKA robots, amazing machines, and this is the part of the process. All the sheds, the steel sheds, are coated. I coated with this water jet machine that cut perfectly you from the digital drawings. It cut the steel with water, no? Pressure water, amazing. These are part of the sides of the sculpture. This is the sculpture produced. It was in December the 8th. The pieces arrived here around December 12 or 14, because we really want to have the pieces here before Christmas and before the holidays. as the exhibition was open January 12th, almost the people are almost waking up in this part of the year, and we've been very sure to have all the pieces here before holidays. This is the structural engineer that the museum hired to calculate we weighed the piece here with the company who installed the pieces, 2,200 pounds. 2,200 pounds is pure steel, and this is you see in the drawings. This is just the last 5 meters of the tip of the sort of the motherland calls. That is a sculpture that is placed in Russia right now, and it's one of the tallest, bigger sculptures in the world. I think it's the third, and it's I don't remember how many tons this sculpture weighs, but it's a lot. And this is a sculpture made. All this weight correspond. All this weight correspond to a concept, to the specific concept of homeland. What is homeland? All this weight is homeland. No? Can be or not, or homeland can be the breath. No, is how to wait. And this sculpture, these new sculptures talk about that. And the placement of the sculpture was very conventional, very.
Just speak louder. Closer to the mic.
Closer to the mic. Yes. Sorry. The installation of the sculpture in the space is a perfect diagonal line from the corner when you enter to the space to the last corner in the right, the farthest one. And the center of gravity of the piece is in the center of the place. Was very easy to choose this specific place for install the piece. Look at this. If you look at this, the corner of the wall is the same of the very tip, the point where the sword end is in the corner of the wall. No? And the pieces around the sculpture is the series. In this series, Revolution is an abstraction. I work with 2 bodies of works, sculptures and political posters. What I did here was I worked with different avant-garde artists, Russian avant-garde artists from the 30s, 40s, 50s, also 60s. And I work with their political posters, like Barbara Stepanova, Eli Sinki, Alexander Rodchenko. I work with many of their designs. And what I did was to remove the images and the text of the original pieces. What you see in the show is the abstract background that remain in the subtraction process. No? It's because it's called revolution is an abstraction. No? Revolution at the end, the revolutions. How many time? What is the time of a revolution? What is the time of a revolution? 1 second, 1 minute, 1 year, It depends, no? I think that revolutions are very specific moments, and then it process transform. They became another different things, depending the ideological way that they talk or the economic preference. It depends, no? But can be a democracy, or can be a tyranny, or can be something in between, like China, with the economic power and also the very, very strong political control. No? And can be like Cuba, is very poor, is economically dependent now of Russia, of Venezuela, of China. It depends. The romance with it depends. No, we were talking about the country that dreamed to be a continent. This concept, and this concept is Cuba. Cuba is the country that is in conversation all the time with big countries, only big countries. They don't talk with Haiti, they don't talk with the countries in the area, they don't talk with Philippines, they talk with the real ones, the potence in the world. They talk with United States, with Russia, with China. All the problems are with them, because it's a small country, but with the dream to be a whole continent in the middle of the Caribbean. No? Wow, welcome. And the posters, the concrete talk about that. The idea here was all these images, all these texts that are in the original pieces. The titles of the pieces are "Let's Construction the Utopia," or "Construction of the city, the new city in the world," or "Carnel Partido," like a party card, or something very, very specific things, ideological things. And when you see this, you cannot, sometimes you cannot connect that weight, the weight that I subtract, the ideological weight that I subtract, and I place on concrete. This weight that I subtract, I represent this weight in the weight of the concrete itself, of the material itself. Each piece is about 80 pounds. One of the best things producing the show and working here was to work here at the university, in the studios here. I was working here from the summer, from June. I started producing the Washington bust, Washington sculpture, what it is, what it has been. I start the production of the show, producing this piece in one of the studios in this same building, in the 4th floor. And I produced the concretes at the sculpture metals and wood shop with amazing conditions. I produced all the concretes here. I weighed all the concretes here. Bob, my friend Bob, the engineer Bob, is here. Thank you very much, Bob, for helping me to think about the mix, the specific mix. I mix white cement with gray cement in specific proportions, with a specific sand, quartz sand, and we learn a lot about concrete together. And now Bob knows that I am very precise. And I paint the pieces at the spray paint shop in the Elgin Studios. And then after that, we moved the pieces to here. All these pieces were produced in the campus. No? I am really like this, and all the connections, the networking, the people that I met during this time was like an hour, like a residency, no? The revolution in abstraction is the posters and the sculptures. The sculptures. The colors of the paint. Yeah. So sorry. The colors of the paint, I use almost the same. Thank you. Gracias, Maguido. Gracias. Gracias. I paint I use these three colors because I use the same colors, almost the same color of the original propaganda. And the idea was to contrast the concrete, the texture of the concrete, the raw of the material, with this very smooth, shiny, solid color, no? Pigments, because this paint is more about pigments. The amount of the pigment in the paint is very make it more special, no? Because the pigment itself is the thing that produces the color, and these paints are high performance paintings that I use it in the cars right now. The black color is, the red color is B&W, is the red B&W that B&W use officially to paint. The black is Mercedes-Benz, one of the black that they have, and the white is Toyota. This paint is very expensive because it's very special, because you cannot scratch. It's very solid. You know, a car. You crash a car and you polish the car, and the paint is there. No, and what I really like is the deepness of the pigment of these paintings. The sculptures, I select 9 sculptures from different places in former communist countries, and including Russia, of course. And I reproduce the detail of the sculpture in the same material. These are models, and these pieces can be real scale, like the sword or like the hands. But I really like to produce these bodies of work to understand that it's not just a hands or it's not just a sword. There are many elements, and also to work with the different materials, and with the idea of the model of the sculpture, the model of the sculpture that the sculptures do first, yeah, as a studio of the big one. Almost all these pieces, all the real, the monumental ones, almost all have very famous models, mock-ups of the pieces, because, and I really like this format. No, you can have a general idea of the context, political, social, ideological, historical context that we are talking about through different form, shapes, and different concepts in the same area. I work with an architect and a designer to make to measure all the sculpture, the sculpture to hacer como el levantamiento físico de la escultura, the architectural drawing of the sculpture, with the because I didn't travel. Some people ask me if I traveled to Russia or if I traveled to Ukraine or if I traveled to Germany to measure the pieces, and no, it's I work with information. I work with information. I work with internet. I work with books. I work with information. This information give me an approach, and specific. It's not better. It's not. It's a specific approach to these things. No. The idea here was to reproduce the pieces and then to have the real size of the piece, the shape. We work around a year in all the selection of the pieces, the drawings, the first drawings. Yeah, this is a project. This is a very famous sculpture. It's the worker and the Caucasian woman, stainless steel, 26 meter high, and this is you have the hammer and the seal. No? This is one of my preferred. This is the original bust is by Lev Kerbel. It's a German. It's a monster. It's a German sculptor who made different Lenin marks, and this Marx is placed in Eastern Germany right now, and this is the top of the head. This piece in the real size of this piece is about this stage. The real size, and the height is like this, bronze, totally bronze. But this piece is still in my mind, just in my mind. In front, we have a Happy Day series. It's a photographic series, conceptual photography, where I work with anthological pictures, photos of important photographers in the world. But I choose these photos because they portray different political figures in this picture. They all create the iconography about power through different dictators in the world. In this specific case is Fidel Castro, who's my own dictator, is my personal dictator in this room. You can feel close to me, but I really have my personal dictator that I bring with me all the time, because this is the way that we sometimes we charge. This show, I told you, this show is about that, no? How many weight I have of this is because I try to work with that experience from the very specific control society, from an island, no? And to work with this is a way to healing my body, my soul of all these oppressive experiences. This photo is by Lee Lockwood. He's an American photographer who worked in Cuba with very close to Fidel for 10 years, from 1959 to 1969. There is a book that is called The Castro's Cuba, that is it's a super book. It's amazing. It's all that 10 years of work, and I scan this. I work with books, with publications in this series. Sometimes with archive, but mostly with the history, the sediment of history that are the books. No? I work with old books, to work with Mao. It's sometimes to work with books about dictators. Some dictators is very difficult to work with, to buy this book, because sometimes they are censored, they are canceled in a most contemporary way to say. They are canceled, and it's not the case of Hitler or Stalin sometimes, and some books of Mao, they are very controlled. The Mao's iconography. Fidel is more a social character. My work consists of to remove the person itself, the character, the dictator, and reconstruct all the scenario, as never happened, never happened before. You can see, and the idea here is, if you have to be honest. You have to be honest. If you have this person there, this photo talk about many things, specific things, ideological and political things. But if you have this photo, what do you think? What is you are in the place of this guy. You are there. You can fit the space. You can fit the absence. No, it's because for me this is a very deep tissue massage to history. Like to collective memory. For me, I'm really touching the nerves of the collective memory, with these kind of pieces. And I use my own rights to work with all these photos, because we live in this world with these kind of images, and these images are created to preserve the status quo, to promote the a people itself, a person, a political leader, an ideology, all that thing that can be something like him. Sometimes sometimes it's a lot of work, digital work. It's a standard post-production process, because sometimes you have almost the 50% of the chair covered by the figure, and you need to be creative now. I reproduce also. I don't work with the image. I work with the structure that make the image possible. In this case, is the texture of the offset print. The offset print, when you scan in high resolution, you scan a book, you can penetrate in the structure of the image, and the structure of the image is the texture of the offset itself. I work in this. It's not to reconstruct the image. You need to print it. You need to. It's the deepest way that I can do. This is I found this photo today. when I was preparing the talk. And I said, I would show just 3 or 4 photos, but let's show this one, because this is Mao, of course. The person in the Mao's left is the Panchen Lama, and in the right side is the Dalai Lama, the Dalai Lama of Tibet, who live in India right now, in Dharamsala, because all this political problem with the Chinese government. Because this night, the Dalai Lama discovered a conspiration that Mao made against they both, because they are the religious authority in Tibet and all this area. And Mao Mao took the Panchen Lama and put him in jail for 20 years after this night. The Dalai Lama discovered the story and can escape. Escape to the exile, because cannot come back to Tibet, to Lhasa anymore. And it's a different picture, no? I think what I like of this kind of work is that you can use this work to talk about political, historical issues with this background. No? Sometimes I retouch, I erase not just the figure itself of the person itself, even the signs or designs about the image of the people. I'll come back to the show. This is a happy day, and here we have a new series of paintings of works that I produced for the show in Houston, with in collaboration with the conservation labs at the Museum of Fine Art of Houston. I work there with imaging conservation specialist Stephen Hanley in this project. This project is called Mnemosyne's Whisper. Mnemosyne Whisper. El susurro de Mnemosyne is what Mnemosyne is the Greek god of memory, and it is what Mnemosyne can tell you, no? Like a whisper, no? And we can, with this piece, we can go seeing in the blue pigment of the pictures, of the paintings. There are this pigment, this final coat, is covering a painting about monument displacements, monument cancel monuments, or removing monuments in United States, mostly in the United States, in the last 3-4 years, especially after the George Floyd death. The idea was to paint a painting, thinking about to erase it, thinking about to erase, to cover it, and to find a way to see what is there through technology, through the archival techniques that we have available right now, like X-ray scan or infrared photography. In this case, we use infrared photography because X-ray is too powerful, potent, and the pigment is very thin and very light, and the X-ray cannot stop in the painting, in the pigment, cannot stop, goes through. No? The infrared photography is another technique that where you can find things undercover, no? Like these paintings. They are blue, they are color blue, because I work with journalistic photos, and with news, with photos from news and newspapers and journalistic. And almost always the monuments, what is behind the monument is the sky, because they are placed in squares, they are placed in parks, they are placed in places where you have the background of the monument is the sky. And I select a pixel of the blue of the sky of the journalistic picture, and I reproduce this pigment in the final coat of the painting. I need to find a way to make this story easier, no? Easy, no? Like a simple, because sometimes it's hard to explain. This is a one-on-one scale of the infrared images, infrared photography of the painting that is in the left. What we did, well, where are they? I don't have the images in the lab working with the light. It's simple. I bring the canvas, the blue paintings, and they shot the painting with the infrared light and a special camera. And the special camera, the infrared light can go through this final layer and discover the piece that is painted behind. No? And this is the infrared image of this painting. This is Fidel Castro. It's a monument. This is the only one. This is the different piece in the series. There are almost all Confederate monuments. Here, this is a monument that is already that is still on site. It's still placed in Moscow of Fidel Castro. One of the I don't know how they did it, because Fidel left a testament saying that is prohibited to make sculptures by him, with him, of him. But maybe, maybe they have a special clausula or something for Putin. I don't know, because they have this bronze sculpture right now in. It's I never in my life, I never paint in my life. Just walls, paintings never. And I paint again after more than 15 years. That the last time that I paint was in middle school or something like the art school, but middle school, something in Elisa, in the Higher Institute of Art. I never paint, never. But it was this piece, this body of work was a very nice way to meet the painting again, no? Because it's fascinating. But I need in the past, I need an idea to paint, and now I have one. This is what it is, what it has been, the Washington sculpture. This is the first piece that I produced here. I work with the digitalization department at the Smithsonian Institution in Washington D.C. and I asked to them for the 3D scan data file of the George Washington portrait, the sculptural portrait by Jean Houdon, the French sculptor, that is exhibited at the National Portrait Gallery in Washington, D.C. This is one of the most important, speaking about heritage and historical important, this is one of the most important pieces about Washington because it's a life mask. Houdon made, the sculpture made a life mask of Washington to produce this portrait. This is a live face. And the idea was to apply, I worked here for 3 months, around 3 months, to apply 200 coats of paint, white paint, acrylic white paint, on the bust to see what happened. No? And this is the layer where I stopped. This is the 200 layer. What is almost the same distance in time from here, from the present to the past, to Met Washington, from the time where the sculpture was produced, was made, to here. No? Is how we use, how we live, how we produce and we understand, and we the ideas of the values that a father, a homeland father of the United States, the father of this nation, proposed. No, what's happening in this time? No, it's my very logic way to see. The piece is more than this, but chronologically have this sense. No? There is a video loop that can be projected, but in this case, I really wanted to have the sculpture and the video integrated in a piece. But the video can be projected behind the wall in a bigger scale. And there is a stop motion, infinite stop motion video loop of the process of painting. I place a camera in front of the bust, and I took a picture of each layer of paint. Then I edit it. I made the stop motion, and you can see the transformation of the figure through the layers of paint. And there is an infinite loop that grows and then go back, grows and then go back. This piece is about essentially about the fragility of democracy. No? And I did this a piece before to work with this specific bust of Washington. It's a clay, it's plaster. It's a plaster bust. After to work with my national hero, my homeland father, the father of the Cuban nation, that is Jose Marti. I I've been sure to make this before. This gives me some kind of right to make the Washington here. I'm talking about historical rights, no? Me with Martí, me with Washington, no? Not with the people in our time. This is a very famous bust of José Martí, who is I think is the most famous Cuban in the maybe after Fidel. Fidel is who is most famous? Fidel or Washington or Martí? Fidel, no? Fidel, no? Sí. Bueno, Martí is the historical one. Martí thought Martí was here in his exile from Cuba in the Spanish time, in the colonial times, 1860s, 70s. Martí lived here in the United States for more than 20 years, or for 20 years. Almost all the Martí's life was here. Martí left Cuba with 14 years old as a political prisoner with 14 years. And yeah, was a writer, was a thinker, was the consul of Paraguay in United States. Yeah, it's a historical, and is very extensive used his image in Cuba, no? To talk about all this, to say the people, you have to be like him, no? He is the father. He's he's in the structure of the pyramid of the building that is a nation, no? That is a country, no? And he is in this very specific basement, no? And I made this work during COVID in Havana. I applied 382 layers of paint on this Martí bust by Juan José Sicre. It's an academic Cuban sculpture. This bust is from 1956, and this bust is the mock-up, the model that Sicre used for the José Martí statue that is in the Revolution Square, or the former civic square in Havana. Revolution Square. It's a very big sculpture, marble, and what I did was to scale the small piece, the small piece to the size of the monumental sculpture that is in the Revolution Square, and you have this size. I produced the big one for the Armory show in 2022, invited by Tobias Ostrander. As part of the monumental sculptures and installation session, no? in the Armory show. This is the piece outside the studio in Miami. I live here in Houston. I'm based in Houston since I came to the United States to live in the United States, but I work a lot. I visit, and I have many colleagues, friends, and people who support me in Miami, like these people in the studio. No? And this is the piece at the Armory show. I'm showing this piece here because it's I produced this piece before the Washington. It's is inspired in this process, a specific process. But also because this piece is installed here at the post Houston. This is the piece arriving from Phoenix Art Museum. After the Armory show, the piece went to Phoenix Art Museum, was there for a year there installed, and then we moved the piece to here to the post rooftop. This is the piece arriving to Houston. The installation day. We place the piece in front of the Houston skyline, no? The downtown skyline, in a place almost made for the piece, with lights in the floor around the sculpture. The lights were there, no? They didn't make the lights for the sculpture. But here, this sculpture is many more things. It's not just about Jose Marti. Here, the person is not, the important thing is not the person itself, could be another people. It's how the life term change from one thing to another in time, no? And this is the history, no? And the people are in contact with this. This piece talk about. I made this the piece to make understand the Cuban government what will happen with the Jose Marti sculptures that they paint every 6 months, 2-3 years, 2-3 times a year. What I did was, mira, this is what will happen in 100 years, for example, in 80 years, if you keep painting the sculptures like that do, and you will have this. No, this is the example, but this here is another. Here is an alien. I really like the stories of the people walking around. No? This is this piece is this photo is here because Tania Gandiani is the Mexican artist who exhibit here at the Bluffer, and we met during her. We met the first time that she came before the show, his first visit or place tour to the city, and we met. I'm very happy to exhibit here at the Bluffer the same year that Tania did. No, for me it was and to be here during the first visit, during the opening, is a super pleasure, because I love her. And this is the other piece. This is another piece that is placed in Houston right now. This piece is in Houston right now, in a show that is called Climate Migration at the Houston Climate Justice Museum. Which is an amazing institution that we work with. And I produced this piece for ArtPace, the art residency in San Antonio, during the first part of the year, the 2023, the beginning of the year, from January to March. I was living there, and I produced this piece around the. I convert a dry box truck, a commercial box truck, in a sauna. I built a sauna with Texan yellow pine inside the book. And the sauna works. The sauna works very well. The sauna can kill you in 1 hour. There is a temperature control outside the sauna, and you can set 120 Fahrenheit degrees. And if I close the door of the sauna, I will kill you. You will die inside the sauna. I don't know if you can relate this with historical, the massive event, deadly event that happened in the United States about immigration. No? It's very sad. When I arrived to, I thought about the piece before to go to San Antonio, and this is a piece that works with also the imaginary that the people have of the event. You never see the people, the bodies, no? You only see the truck, no? The truck. It's like a very, for me, it's a very conceptual, very charged image of tragedy, death in a truck. No? How a truck can represent all these things that happen in our imaginary, in our conscience. No? And the sauna is here. It's at the headquarters of the Climate Justice Museum. You are super invited to use the piece in a safe way. If you are there inside the sauna for 20 minutes, it's very healthy. It's super healthy. You know all the properties, no, the good things that sauna can, that we can experience in our bodies and in our with sauna, no. Irritation is circulation, is life, no, in the body. But when you extend this time, all this life became dead. No? The rocks that I used in the heater are taken from a railroad lane, close to where the people die in San Antonio. And I also can talk about this piece without mention death and without mention the San Antonio success event. I can talk about this piece and all that what this piece represents without talk about death, and but I just flow, came, no, like this, no. And this is another piece that is here in Houston, exhibit right now at Post at the Climate Justice Museum exhibition there, and this is a digital piece, augmented reality piece, where I reproduce the migratory trip of a monarch butterfly the Methuselah generation of the monarch butterfly. I reproduced all the trip from Canada to Mexico and from Mexico to Canada after the hibernation digitally with an application, with the software, with the engine that we create to keep the butterfly flying and resting and feeding during a year, no? The whole cycle. You can download. This is the process, the modeling process. This is how the butterfly fly. One of the flights. All the point. I produced this piece in collaboration. Was a commission of the El Museo del Barrio, and via Art Fund, they commissioned the piece for my show at the Museo del Barrio, and the piece I produced the piece for the last migratory cycle of the butterfly to 2022-2023. And now it's a new trip, it's a new journey, and it's placed in two sites. In North Miami Museum, where the Elso Padilla's exhibition is right now, in a museum in North Miami, and here at Post. You can see the piece, you can experience the pieces. You can also download the application. This is the yellow one is the south trip, and the purple is the north trip. It's a whole year piece that worked in our phones or in the computer, in the website. It's a dedicated website. Well, this exhibition is also made with the support of my gallery here in town, here in the city. Sicardi Ayers Bacino Gallery, and this is the first show that I did here in Houston with the gallery, and it's a very special piece because it was the first installation that I produced after my migration, my exile trip, after I left my country and came here to live in my new place, no? And this is the first installation. I work with installations, objects installations, and it's about this installation is about the emptiness, no? The emptiness that you experience when you have this kind of experience. You drain your body of many things, and you experience the emptiness. Yeah, this is my feeling, my abstract feeling. How I convert in a concept, physical concept, an emotional process or psychological process, no? And this is about emptiness. But this is also a healing piece, because what I did was to reproduce, to cast the emptiness of the void of 50 utilitarian objects that we use at home, like bowls, like glasses of wine, like many different, like jars for basil, for flowers, different kinds of containers that we use. All these things, cup of tea, and I reproduce the emptiness of I cast the emptiness and I have reduced these sculptures 10 times to have these 500 pieces installation of there are like the exhibition, the title of the exhibition is Solid Void, and this was a way to make to achieve this voidness in a specific solid experience. No? It's like to land or to fly. These are the 50 different objects. Yeah. No, thank you very much.
We'll open it up for questions.
Nobody has questions. This is better.
I just wanted to say thanks for this presentation. Thanks for putting the work in and for sharing your ideas with us. I love the fact that you work with concrete, but you also study the flight of butterflies. Like you seem to go from soup to nuts, go from A to Z. So can you speak about the challenges of trying to capture so many concepts in your work, but being able to choose when you're trying to draw from so many different inspirational ideas?
Well, thank you very much, Tony. I work with many different ideas around the same concepts that are interest to me. But each idea have its own way to express in the physical in life, no? In the three-dimensionality, no? And always is different. It's something that I don't try to do. It's something that sometimes came with the idea itself. Sometimes because this is this is totally virtual. This trip, this journey, that is one whole year cycle, year that you can check the butterfly, you can live with the butterfly, with the map, you have access of all this area, but all this works in the meta verse, that works in the internet. It's a program. It's a very immaterial sculpture or piece, no? Totally opposite to the. It's because I also chose this piece to have this esa levedad, no? How do you say levedad? The lightness of a butterfly, and to have the concrete with the sword, no? The sword is very secure. You can walk down. Yeah.
Thank you so much. This was super interesting. I actually have loads of questions, but the first one I have is if you see any sort of relationship between the feeling of absence that we see in the political photos, where you take, the political figure out, and then the emptiness, which you say, like the emotional phenomenon you experience, that you try to depict in the last piece that you showed us.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I think there are different kind of absence that met at some point, different points, and different levels, and maybe I am in a personal exploration right now about the absence, about the emptiness as a concept of life. this is not about produce or not produce things in the world. It's a mental process, and maybe, of course, the absence in the photos is about a political absence. If you subtract the subject of the photo, you feel some absent, historically speaking, and maybe. But if you see the absence in the butterfly or in the piece of the flowers, the absence of. I have a map in my mind right now to answer you, but I cannot translate the map that I have. The infographic idea. Do you have more ideas? Questions?
Yeah.
No. Let's go to the second one. Yeah, let's go to the second one.
One thing that I find very interesting about some of the artwork, especially the political ones, is the sort of like historical revisionism that's occurring in them. I feel like that term might not quite adequately capture what you're doing, but I wonder what you think is unique to the way that you confront history with the resources of history that you're using that might be different than like a historian who's like writing a book in like our conception. Yeah, what is like, essentially the question is, what do you think is distinct about the artistic approach that you have to history that, you know, maybe the medium of art can tell us that perhaps something in academia that cannot tell us?
Yeah. I have to talk about some examples, some pieces. Of course, through art, you can tell, you can express things in a very different way than like a historian or like a scientist or like a, because it's more. It's another kind of codes that your body use that can bring you to another different place of the mind. That it's not just a reading, a book or an essay. In art and in my work, you can confront, experience the ideas through many different sensors, many different ways. It's the case of the smell of wars. It's a series of perfumes that I produce around 3 different bottles, combats in Cuba, where 3 very important generals of the independence wars against Spain, they fought. They 3 very important. They died in combat, which is a very specific characteristic of the warriors, the way that the armies were organized, were made in the Caribbean, in the irregular wars, is very different. The big generals never die in a battle, never. It's like they die for healthy things. And in Cuba, that happened. These 3 people died in 3 different parts of the country. One in Santiago de Cuba, one in the middle of the country around El Camagüey, and one in the western part. Antonio Maceo, Ignacio Agramonte, and José Martí. They died in different scenarios, very different scenarios, fighting for freedom, fighting for independence, fighting for all that concepts. And what I did was to use elements from the places, from the scenarios of the combats, from the places where the event takes place, and through literature, through diaries, through different kind of information, different levels of information, but mostly through investigation, research. And I give all this information about the scenario, the land of the event, the battleship, and I bring all this information to a perfumist, to an alchemist, who made 3 different perfumes around these historical issues. No, the thing is, I have different ways to work with history. I have some other works. Some of the desire to die for others. That is a series of weapons cast in glass. Weapons belonging to very important political leaders in Cuba, generals during the independence war, and I made these weapons. I cast the pieces, and I produce this series of crystal glasses weapons, no, that are very fragile. The idea here, I'm talking about this because the idea here, with this work, I touch the history itself. I touch the objects that make the history itself, where the history is based. It's not about the concept, it's about the bonds. I work with the bonds of the history, and I also can work with the smell of a place, and how this smell can travel to my city, no? Or to my balcony. It's different approach. I don't know if this answers your question.
If I may build on your response, the way I see it is you take your intellect and concepts, combine it with materials to create a visceral or a body response in the audience. And I find that very poetic. And so my question is, do you read poetry? Do you read fiction? And if so, what genres or what turns your imagination on?
I don't read poetry. No, because I read the poetry through life. If you read poetry, it's a poetry that someone did, someone made, someone write, but it's not your poetry. It's not because I don't read poetry. But I read just, I like Middle East, Asian poetry. I really like haikus. I like this, of course I like Baudelaire and Rimbaud, of course. But this is not the kind of readings that I take time. I read more history, essays, news, philosophy, things like that. And the rest is outside. It's outdoor.
Thank you for your talk. In a lot of your pieces, you use these really ingenious practices of technology to examine how history's been told and uncover the details that have been erased. From the technology of propaganda distribution during the Soviet Union, and the technology of immigration, and but also the other way around, of the infrared cameras and uncovering those paintings, and tracking the butterfly movements, and looking at those collective memories, especially with the infrared paintings that were covered up. And I wanted to know a little bit more about how you view using these technologies in your practice, and how you approach finding new ones to more think about these things capaciously.
In your answer, can you talk about the weight?
Yes. You bring me directly to the weight of history. That is a piece that I didn't talk about during the talk. And I also use technology in different ways. Almost, for me, technology is like a superpower. It's like a superpower. You can, a programmer, the day after that to meet the programmer person, a scientist programmer, change my mind, blow my mind, because they think the universe in a very programmatic and very efficient way, and programmatic because they can program they can build realities with codes. It's amazing. It's like the Matrix. And my first experience with this kind of technology, more like a traditional technology, digital technology, was with this developing this software, Ink 1.0. It's a software that I developed to calculate the amount of ink used in print or handwritten documents. The idea, I made a piece before this software that is 9 grams that could change the world, and it's the communication, the papers, the letters in paper of between Nikita Khrushchev, the Russian president at that time, and Fidel Castro during the missile crisis in the 62, something like that. And I weighed these letters between Nikita and Fidel, and the letters weighed 9 grams. At that time I said, oh, yeah, but I'm not weighing the net information, the net texts, the net weight of the letters, no, that made this history, this concept. And I started to work. I contact a team of programmers to develop a software to calculate the amount of ink, not the amount in terms of area, in terms of volume, and in terms of weight. Because if you have the area and you have the deepness of the ink, and you have the density of all this is through archaeometric experiments. All this is also about technology, archival technologies. You have the density, you can calculate the amount of the weight of the ink in the freedom letter of a slave, or in the red book of Mao Zedong. I produce a series of pieces. I produce a series that is called The Weight of History. One of the pieces of the series is 5 Nights. 5 Nights is the amount of ink used in 5 totalitarian books, 5 the basis, the literature, the basis of the 5 totalitarian regimes, like The State and Revolution by Lenin, like Mein Kampf by Hitler, The History Will Absolve Me by Fidel Castro, the Red Book by Mao Zedong, or the Green Book by Al-Gaddafi. And the piece is 5 rectangles of ink printed directly on the wall with the amount of ink used in these 5 different books. No? Or this piece that is in the show is the series The Weight of History, but this is the United States Declaration of Independence, the document. And this is the ink that I calculate with the software. The ink amount of ink used in this very important and foundational document of this country. Yes, after I almost always think about to work with technology and with the programmer. I need to have these people around in my work.
I think we're out of time. Thank you so much, Novo.
Gracias.
Submission is out until March 10th. If you're not able to register, please come by. Thank you all so much for coming out tonight.
Okay.